Hello, am I audible? Hello.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Great. Hello everyone. So today is the first session for that qualifier, right? So I hope everyone has gone through the videos, YouTube videos, and the slides. So there are three sessions. So in the first session, that is in today's session, we'll be discussing about week one to three, and then in the later sessions, we will discuss on the remaining topics here. Okay. So we'll try to solve the questions, and through that we will understand the concept. We'll try to revise the concept. Okay. So let me share my screen here. Just a second. Yeah. Is this screen visible?
Yes.
Okay, great. So see, what we are going to discuss in this session is basically what, if you look at the content, right? We have week one, two, three in this particular session. Then we have week 4 5 is basically sorry, 5 6 is basically just revision purpose, so you, I guess you don't have a content for that, and then we have remaining weeks. Okay, week 6 to 8, like that. Okay, week to 10th, sorry. Okay, so we'll be revising in the later part of the session. So first in this session we are going to discuss about the week 1 to 3. So if you look at week 1 to 3, what we have discussed, so we have started with the variables, right? So I hope everyone has gone through the content. So what is variables, right? So we have discussed that. Then data types, different data types we have, right? Then different conditional statement here, conditional statement, conditional statement. For example, we have if statement, then we have if else statement, right? Then we have if else if statement, right? That, right? So these are the conditional statement, and then we have discussed about the list, and then for loop here. Okay, so these are the few topics that we have to focus from first week one to three. So these topics are going to cover in this session, and the remaining topics will be covering in the next session here, right? So this is basically week one to three. If you have gone through the lectures, so this is what we have covered. Also different string functions we have, so different types of functions applicable to a string, so string manipulation, so that also we have discussed in the week two, I guess. Okay, so I hope everyone has access to slides, right? So slides is already shared with you, right? Hello, are the slides shared with you, or just a YouTube playlist?
Uh, no, no.
Only
I'm
YouTube
aware.
playlist is
Only
there.
YouTube videos.
Okay, fine, no worries. So we are going to focus on this particular topics, and we are going to solve the previous term quiz paper that will focus on week one to four. Okay, so I will share with you, and you can just go through at the end of the session and see what are the topics covered in this particular paper. Okay, so we'll be discussing that. Okay, so we are going to focus on this particular topics in this session. So if you see what are the variables, so quickly revise the concept of variables. Yes, anyone can tell me what are the variables? Okay, what are the
String.
rules? So if I say a equals to 5, and the next line if I write a equals to 6, right? And if I say simply print a, so what will be the value of a here? Output of this one print statement
Fix.
6, right? Because the value of this particular a got updated here, right? So that is why it's variable. And while defining the name of any variable, it should start with either any int, any alphabet or underscore, like that, but not with the integer. Okay, it can consist of integer. Let's say for example a1 2 3, that is fine. A underscore is also fine, but one a is not a valid variable name here, right? So it should not start with the integer. Rest we can have alphabet and the underscore also. Okay, so this is basically variable, and we have few different data types. When I say a equals to 5, when I say b equals to Python, okay, when I say c equals to true, or let's say for example or false, okay, true or false, what does this indicate? What is data type of a here? So when I just run this particular thing, type of a in Python, what I'm going to get? The type data type of this particular variable A. So you can see I have allotted the value here 5, that is basically integer. Data type of A is basically an integer here. When I say B, when I say type B here, right? What does this mean? The data type of this particular variable B. So you can see it is basically a string here, right? Then what is this one? Type C.
Boolean.
Yes. So type C is basically what? Boolean, either true or false. Huh? So it is basically a Boolean here, like that. Okay. So you have different data types also, float, all those things, but mostly we focus on integer, string, and Boolean, this type of things, right? So this is basically variables, data types, conditional statement, if else, and if. Okay. So let's quickly discuss about the if statement. So as we studied in English, right? If this is true, then we do this one thing, right? If this, then like that. So if, then we have a condition, okay? If, then we have a condition, and then we perform some particular task here, and then we close the if statement here, right? So we execute this particular line of block only when if condition is true. If this particular condition is true, then only we execute this particular thing. If condition is false, then we are not going to execute this block. We'll go to a next line here like that. Okay. So for example, if I say, let's say a equals to, or let's say age equals to 19. Okay. What I will do, I will put if, then I will put age greater than 18. Then I am going to print what? Print you are eligible for voting. You are eligible for vote. Eligible for vote. This message I am going to print. If age is here less than or equal to, we are going to put. If less is age than less than 18, then we want to print you are not eligible for voting. You are not eligible. Not eligible. Okay. This is what we are going to print here. Print means simply we are going to get the output here. Whatever the message you want to display, that is basically inside the print statement here. Now, if the value of age, the variable is 19 here, right? So what will happen here? First, I will execute this line, then I will go to this line. What will happen here? If age greater than equals to 18, is the condition true? The value of age, what is the value of age we have in the previous line? That is basically 19. If 19 is greater than 18, yes, that is true. So if this condition is true, then we are going to print this particular statement here. You are eligible for the vote, right? Now, once we execute this one, we'll go to a next if statement here. Now, what is this here? If age less than 18, is this true? 19 less than 18? No. So we are not going to do anything here. We are not going to print this statement. So this is an indentation here you can see. Okay. So whenever the condition is true, then only we have to execute the block here. Otherwise, we don't need to execute the block. That is basically if statement here, if condition. Okay. I hope this thing is clear. Anyone, any doubt in if condition?
No, sir.
Okay. Now you might be thinking, what if the condition is false? In that case, you want to do something else, right? So that's why we have if else condition. If, then we have some condition here, right? Then we have some code here, block of code. That's it. And then we have a else here, else, and then we have a block of code here. Let's say block of code. Here also code, right? So we are going to execute this block only when condition is true. This is what we have discussed. But what about the condition is false? In the case of if statement, we don't have any other statement to execute. We will simply go to a next line of code like that. But in the case of if else condition, if this condition is true, we are going to execute this one. If this condition becomes false, then we have to execute this particular block here. If condition false, else execute this particular block like that. Okay. So this will execute only if condition is false. Okay, like that. So if the condition is true, we are going to execute this one. Otherwise, we'll execute this one. That's it, right? So if I take the same example here, I can convert this into if else here. If age greater than 18, then we are going to print the message. That is basically you are eligible for the vote. You are eligible. That's it. Okay. And then otherwise else, I'll put the colon here. Then I'm going to print you are not eligible. Not eligible. Okay. So what will happen here if the input age is basically 19, it will check whether age greater than 18 or not. If this is true, we are going to print you are eligible. If I say age is basically 16, In that case, age is not greater than 18. So this is basically false. In that case, I will go to else block here. I will execute this one. You are not eligible like that. Okay. So this is how if else statement will work. If the condition is true, execute this one. Otherwise, this one like that. Okay. Any doubt in if else condition now?
No, sir.
Okay. So let's try to solve few question if you understand about the if else condition here. So here all the things are based on the list and the for loop. Simple question do we have here? Let's see. Okay, let's go with. Okay, so let me discuss a list and the for loop also, so we can solve most of the question then. Because if you observe, most of the question in the exam will be based on the list and the for loop. Okay, this is basically basic what we have discussed, but the question you can expect based on the list and for loop. So can anyone tell me what is list here? How we define the list? How we create the list in Python? Does anyone?
We'll put a bracket like that.
Yeah. So when I say this particular thing, okay, so this is basically a list. So square bracket, if I say list equals to this, in bracket, if I put some elements, so let's say for example, but how we define the list. So whenever you see square bracket, that is basically a list. Okay. So I can say L1 equals to just the numbers 23, 10, 9, 1, 2, 3, like that. Okay. So the list consists of the numbers having 23, 10, 9, 1, 2, 3. So these are the element of the list. So 23 is the element of the list, 10 is the element of the list, like that. Okay. So this is how we define the list by using the square bracket here. When I say tuple, okay, when I say tuple, so what do you mean by tuple? Yes, anyone? What do you understand by tuple? How we define that? What is the difference between list and tuple?
Curly bracket.
Not curly bracket. That is basically round
Tuple
bracket.
is
You can say.
unchangeable.
Yeah. So when I say L2, if I just say round bracket here like that, okay? And if I just say 23, 10, 9, 1, 2, like that. So whenever you see this square bracket, that is basically a list. Whenever I say this round bracket, that is basically a tuple here, okay? But the difference between list and tuple is not just this particular bracket, but how it functions, okay? So in the case of list, you can see we can modify the element here, okay? So, but in the case of tuple, it is immutable object we can say. It is not changeable, right? So we cannot change the element of this particular tuple once we have defined that. Okay. So let's say, for example, we have this particular list. Okay. Now, if I want to access the element 9, how we can do that? Yes, anyone?
L of 2.
Yeah, so if you see in Python, indexing start with 0. So this is the first element, so 0th element, first element, second element, third element, fourth element, fifth element, like that. So if I say L1 of 2, that will give me what? Answer 9 here. If I say L1 of 5, that will give me what? 3 as an answer, like that. Okay. But if I want to execute this particular thing, L1, 3 equals to, let's say for example, 7. I'm executing this particular statement. What does this indicate? If I simply print this one, print L1 of 2, answer will be 9. If I say print L1 of 5, answer will be a 3. But if I say execute L1 of 3 equals to 7, what will happen here? What will happen here?
It will change 1 to 7.
Yeah. So at the index position 3, we are going to update the element, that is basically 7. So at index position 3, we have 1. So we are going to update that element to 7 here now. Now in the list L1, we have 7 instead of 1. That's how we can update the element in the list. But in the tuple, we cannot do that. Okay. So that's the difference between list and tuple. Someone said about the curly bracket here. That is basically a set here. So when I say set, so we use curly bracket to define the set. That is basically 1, 2, 3, like that. Okay. But in the case of list and tuple, we can have duplicates also. So I can also put 10, 10, 10, like that. Here also I can put 1, 1, 1, like that. That is fine. Duplicates are allowed in list and tuple. But in the case of set, what will happen? Set will give me always unique values, right? So even if I put here 1 comma 2 comma 1 comma 3 comma 1 comma 2 like that, after executing that particular set, it will be only the unique values will be there. 1, 2, 3, that's it. Okay. So set will always give us the unique values. Remember. So in the question, if you observe, we have a list having this a duplicate value, but we are converting that list into set. It means what will happen in that case? The duplicate will not be present in the inside the output, right? So set will in the set we don't have a duplicate, and we can perform various set operations here. In Python, we have different set operations: union, then we have intersect, then we have except, right? I hope everyone is aware about union, intersect, except set operators. But how we execute in Python? Yes, anyone? So let's say, for example, here we have two set S1 equals to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. We have S2 equals to 3, 4, 6, 8, like that. Okay. So if I say S1 union S2, so how we can do that in Python? Yes. Okay, first tell me the concept here. What is S1 union S2? S1 intersection S2.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8.
So all the unique element in both the sets, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8. What about S1 intersection S2?
3 only, sir. 3,
3,
4.
4.
The common element between both the set, that is basically 3 and
Yeah.
4 here. What about S1 minus S2? That is S1 except S2.
1, 2, 4,
1,
5.
2.
1, 2, 4, 5.
Yeah, the element which are in S1 but not in S2, that is what
Yes.
S1 minus S2. So 1, 2, 5
1, 2,
only.
5.
That's it, right? Here S2 minus S1 will be what? 6 and 8, right?
Yes, sir.
Like that. But this is the concept here. How we can do in Python? That is basically S1 dot union we have to define, then S2 we have to provide. This is how we can perform union here. Same in the case of intersect. But we have different operators also. Okay. That is basically this symbol, that is vertical line. Okay. Then we have, this is basically what? Union. Ampersand symbol means what? Intersect. So when I say S1, this line S2, that is basically union. When I say S1 ampersand S2, that is basically a intersect here. And S1 minus S2 is already, we know it is a except here. Okay. So please remember this, all the set operations we can perform, right? So these are about the set, then we have list, then we have tuples. And one more thing we have, that is basically a dictionary. What is dictionary here?
Dictionary is a key value pair.
Yeah. So we use this curly bracket here, but instead of elements in the set, we have a key value pair here. We have a key, then we have a colon, then we have corresponding value here, like that. Okay. Let's say, for example, I am creating one dictionary student here. Equals to what? That is basically a roll number is basically let's say your roll number 21F1. The name is basically, let's say, for example, my name is Piyush, right? Like that. And age, let's say, for example, 28, like that. Okay. So here what is happening here? This is basically a dictionary. So roll number, name, age is basically a key of the dictionary student. And this 21F1 is basically corresponding value of the roll number key. Piyush is basically value of the key name. 28 is basically value of the key age. So when I say student in bracket key here, I am going to get the corresponding value here. So in square bracket key, I am going to get the corresponding value here. If I say student in square bracket, if I just specify name here, I am going to get the corresponding value of from this dictionary for this particular key, that is basically a Piyush in the output. Okay, if I simply say print student in bracket name, like that. Okay, an important property of dictionary is basically what? All the keys are unique in nature. So I cannot add one more roll number inside the dictionary. No, values can be duplicate. It is fine that roll number is 21F1 and name can also be 21F1. That is fine. Values can be duplicate, but keys are always unique in dictionary. Okay. So dictionary basically consists of key values pair. Okay. Remember this. And then we have discussed about the list, tuples, and the set operators. Okay. So the we are going to focus more on the list because if you observe in your paper, so even the DAT qualifier paper, the question will be based on the list and the for loop. Okay, even you can expect question based on tuples and dictionary, but in this session we are going to focus on the list because from week 1 to 3 basically we are focusing on list only. Okay, anyone any doubt what we have
Sir,
discussed up till now?
excuse me, sir. I have one query here.
Yes.
Yeah, actually, in the case of list, when we inserted 7 and at the place of third position, so it will be like a number of elements will change in the list, or it will be the same number.
No,
Only we are replacing the number at the position 3, or it will be like 0, 1, 2, 3. Then again, remaining number 1 to 10 will be remaining as it is.
no. So this will get updated by 7 here.
Okay. Means we are just replacing this number
Replacing
by
1 by 7 at position 3.
Okay. So
That's it.
number of elements will not change.
Yeah, number of element will be same only.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Sir,
So
that
if
means
you,
L1.
yes.
One second. Does that mean L1 of bracket 3 means the 7, or we are defining that value L1 3 equal to 7?
L1 3 equals to 7. We are updating the value at position 3 to 7 here. This is what we are doing here. Okay. When I say print L1 of 2, that will give me a 9 as a output. Okay.
Got it.
So let me try to execute this one. So let's say, for example, I'm creating a list 1. Is this visible? This portal?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. So I'm just defining one list here like that. Okay. Now see, if I want to find out the element at index position 3. So let's say, for example, indexing start with 0. So 0, 1, 2, 3 like that. So what I can do, I can I can create a one variable. Let's say a equals to list 1 in square bracket. I can put 3 and then I can put print a. Okay. So at this point, when I say list 1, so I am referring to this particular list, whatever the variable name I have created. I can give any name. I can use L1, L2, anything, but I have to use same name here like that. Okay. So when I say a equals to L1 3, what's the value of L1 3 here? Yes, 0, 1, 2, 3, 8 here, right?
9.
It no 0, 1, 2, 3. So at third position we have 8 here, right? Starting with 0, 1,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
2, 3, right? So it means what the value of A is basically 8 now. Now if I print the value of A, so I should get 8 in the output here, right? You can see 8 in the output. So this is about how we can access the element, or I can simply put here L1 in bracket, I can say 4 here. It means what I'm going to get the value at index position 4, that is basically what 9, you can see here like that. Okay. But if I say L1 3 equals to 99, and now I'm going to print L1. So what happened? We are going to execute this one L1 3. So at index position 3 we have 8. So we are going to replace 8 by 99, and then we are going to print L1. What's the value of L1? Updated value. Let's see. So you can see at index position 3 we got updated the value 99 instead of 8 here. Okay. So this is how we can access the element. We can update the element in the list here. Okay, so we know how to access the element, but what about how to add the element? So if I want to add the element in the list, let's say, for example, I want to add 10 inside this particular list. So how we can do that? Yes, anyone?
You append.
Yeah. So
Not
for that we
append.
have L1 dot append function. So we have append function, and then we can specify the element 10 here. So if I execute now, you can see 10 will got added here. So append function, what it will take? It will take the element as an input and it will add the element at the last. You can see here, right? But what if I want to insert the element at specific position? Let's say, for example, I want to insert the element at index position 3. So here we have 3, 45, 7, 8. So 0, 1, 2, 3. I want to insert the element at this particular position. I don't want to replace. I want to insert the element at this particular position. How we can do that?
So then you have to mention the index and you have to assign the value.
Okay, so how we can specify the index and then value?
Sir, L1 bracket the index and is equal to the value.
No, that will update the value of this particular thing. So if I
Okay,
say
you have to insert.
L1, yeah, I just want to insert a let's say for example 5 at this index position 3. So it means what? One more element will get added. So output will be 3, 45, 7, then 5, then 8, 9, 20 like that. Okay. For that we have insert function. Insert. So we can insert the element at specific position. So first we have to specify the position, that is basically 3, and then the element here, that is basically 5. Let's see. You can see 5 got inserted at specific position 3 here. So we have append function. Append will add the element at the last of the list. So at the end of the list, if you want to add the element in at the specific position, let's say for example any position X here, so that you have to define here. And for that purpose, we have to use insert function. Append function will always add the value at the last. Insert will add the element at the specific index position. Whatever the element you want to add, that you have to specify like this. So I can say insert in bracket index position index, then we have the value here. Okay, like that we can see. I hope the difference between append and index is clear. Sorry, append and insert is clear.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Okay. Now we have one more thing, extend function. What about extend here?
We can extend the list with another list.
Yeah. So we can extend the list with another list here. It means what? The input to this extend function should be a list. If I try to input, let's say for example 5 here, let's see what happens. So this will throw me an error because the input must be a list here. It means what? What is list? I have to put inside the square bracket here. So I can put 5 here. I can put any number here like that. Okay, so that will get up extend here. Extend means what? L1 not extend. So first this list, then we are going to merge this particular list here. You can see this is the output we are going to get here. Okay, so please remember this extend function, append function, and insert function. Okay, these three things. Okay, great. So we have a list here. Now I want to access each and every element, right? Or let's say, for example, I want to print the even numbers here. Okay, how many even numbers from this particular list here? It means what? What I need to do? I need to check each and every element here, whether this is even or not. If 3 is even, print that. If 45 is even, print that, right? So how we can access the element here? How we can access each element here? I am going to use the word each here. So we want to access each and every element from this list. For that purpose, we use for loop. For any iterable, any variable, you can use x, I, element, anything. So I will just simply use for ele, for element in this particular list 1. So for, you can define any variable, ele, x, I, anything, then in we have to use, because in this particular list L1, I want to print. So let's say we print one by one. So we'll print element here. So how this work? For element in L1. So first element is 3, then I'm going to print 3. Then I will go back to line number 3. The next element is 45, I'm going to print 45. Then I will go back to line number 3. Next element is 7, then I'm going to print 7 here. That is basically what? A looping here. So this is basically for loop. Okay. So for element in L1, this is what we are doing. And you can see we are going to run this particular thing. So 3, 45, 7, 8, 9, 20. This is what we are going to get. Any doubt how for loop is working here? So we have to access the element one by one by using a for loop. We can do that, right? Now here we are simply printing the value of element here. That's it. But what if I want to just print the even numbers? Let's say for example 8 and 20. How we can do that? Yes, anyone?
We can check the element is even by.
So we can use if loop.
Yeah.
here.
So I can use if condition. If that particular element in which I am going to refer in the first of for loop, like for example for this element. So this element I have to check whether it's even or odd. So how we can do that? If element mod 2 equals to 0, it means what? If it is divisible by 2, that is basically an even number here. So I'm going to print that particular element. If the condition is becoming false, so we don't need to print that particular element. That's it. So let's see what we are going to get. 8 and 20 in the output, right? So for every element inside the list, we are checking if element is divisible by 2. If yes, we are going to print that element. If no, then simply we are going back for a next element here. This is how for loop will work. Okay, any doubt in this case how for loop will work? Okay, great. So let's try to solve one question. So let's see whether you are able to solve that question or not. Okay. So here, let's go with any simple question first here. Okay, so let's try to solve this question here. So P is basically a non-empty list. Is this visible?
Yes, sir.
So P is
Yes.
basically a non-empty list of distinct integers that have already been defined. Okay. Which of the following statements are true at the end of execution of the code below? So we have Q and R, which is basically an empty list here, like that you can see, right? Now at line number 2, what we are doing? For X in P, what we are doing? Q dot append minus X here. Okay. So what we are doing here, minus X here. P is basically a non-empty dictionary. It means it will have a distinct integer. Let's say, for example, 20, 10, 5, 3, 9, like that. Okay. So for X in this particular P, we are going to append that in Q here, right? So can you tell me how this code will work now? If you understand how for loop works.
Q is equal to minus 20, minus 10, minus 50. That's like.
So here Q is initially empty. Now we are going to append what? X here, that is basically minus 20. Then again we'll go to for loop. Again next element is 10. Again append minus X minus 10. Again we'll go to a next element like that. So here we are going to access the element and then we are going to append the element inside the queue. The output will be like this, right? Hello?
Yes, sir, you are audible.
Yeah. Now, what will happen at line number 4? So, what is sort function here? Q dot sort. Okay, so we are sorting this particular list here. Sorting means what? In which order we are going to sort? Yes, anyone?
Ascending order.
Order.
So, by default, this will sort in ascending order. If I want in descending order, then what to do?
We have
We
to
have to
write
pop ascending is equal to false.
We have to write.
DEC.
Ascending is equal to false.
No, reverse equals to true. We have to write. Okay. So let's see here. If I have this particular list, and if I say print L1 dot sort function here, right? So see what will happen. Okay. So here we are. Sort function will be what? If I say L1 dot sort, and now I'm going to print L1 here. Okay. So let's see, in ascending order it is going to get sorted, but if I want a descending order, you have to put reverse equals to true, I guess. Let's see. You can see if I do this, then it will be in descending order like that. So by default in ascending order, and then if you simply put reverse equals to true, this will give me in descending order. Okay. So here, if you observe what we have done, Q is basically this one. So if I sort, this will be in what? Ascending order here, right? Okay. Now for X in Q, we are going to append what? This particular thing, R dot append here. Okay. So here, if I say Q dot sort, let's say for example in ascending order, right? So here that will be what? Which element will come first?
Minus 20.
Like that. Okay. This is basically Q we are going to get. For Q, now what will happen line number 5? For X in Q, we are going to append in R, but that is basically minus X. So again, negative of this, that is basically simply 20, 10, 9, 5, 3, like that. Okay. So if you understand how this code is working, can anyone tell me which will be the correct option here? Is A is correct?
No.
So P is always equals to R, because if you observe R also we are going to get same element here, 20, 10. But what's the difference here?
The signs.
Sign is in difference.
Negative integers.
No,
No,
here
descending.
R, yeah, R is basically negative of Q here. So again, negative will get cancelled, 20, 10, 9, 5, 3 will be there.
Indexing,
Right.
sir. The indexing are different.
Order will be different, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Totally
So
different.
order will be different here. If I ask about number of element, in both the list will be same, but the order will be different. So option A is not correct. What about Q? Sorry, what about option number B?
B is possible.
Yes, correct, sir.
P is
Yes, sir. B is correct.
For every element inside the P, it's present in R, but not necessarily same sequence. Yes.
yes.
What about C?
That's also correct, sir.
Descending order?
He is
Yes.
Yes, sir. R is descending order.
What about D?
That's also correct.
No, no.
U is ascending order.
Q is ascending order. You can see.
No, this is in descending order.
No, you can see we already sorted the Q, which is in ascending order. So option D is also correct here, right? So you can see B, C, D is basically correct option here. Okay, so you should have a good understanding of for loop and its function. Okay, so how sorting works, how append function works, insert function works, extend function works, all these things you should be knowing. Okay, so please go through all these functions. Okay, so functions we'll discuss. Okay, let's try to solve this question. Anyway, you got the answer, but let's see here. For the what is the output of the following snippet code here? So this is basically what we say expression, but here this is basically equivalent to what? For x in this particular list, L1 0 minus 2, what we are going to do, LST is equals to integer of x here. Okay, so you can write this in this particular format also. So for x in this particular list, okay, so for every x in this particular list, it means what? First x equals to 1, the list equals to integer of x, that is basically we are going to convert this into integer of x, okay. So list will be a what? Same thing here, 1, 0, minus 2 like that, right? If the output of list is this one, then tell me, count is basically equals to 0. So here we have a variable 0 for val in list. If val equals to 0, count. What is this? Yes, anyone, what is this? Plus equal to means what here?
So we are
One
B plus
increment.
added by
count plus 10.
So count equals to count
Plus
plus 10. This is how we can write it down. So whatever the previous value of count will be there, in that we are going to add the 10 here. Okay, that is what this plus equal to means. Double equal to means what? We are checking whether the value of this val is equals to 0 or not. Checking here. It means what? The output will be a boolean, either true or false, like that. Okay. Now if you observe here, for val in list, so what is list? We have 1, 0, minus 2, right? So what we are going to do here?
So first condition is not satisfied. So we'll move to next.
So list is basically this one, 1, 0, minus 2. For first iteration, the value of val will be a 1.
One.
If val equals to 0, is that true?
No, sir.
We'll go to else condition, else if condition. Again, we are checking if this is less than 0, is this true?
No, sir.
No.
We'll go to this else block. Is this true?
No, sir.
Yes.
So val what 2. So divisible by 2? No. Remainder is 1. So this is fine, right?
Right.
So what we are going to do here?
Count.
What is count?
Count is
Zero.
equal to 3.
0 plus 2.
Because previously the value of count is basically 0. So 0 plus 3 is basically 3. That's it. Do we need to go to else block?
No, sir.
No.
Do we need to print the count or what?
Yes.
No, sir.
No. Because we are inside the for loop here. We are inside the for loop here. We have just checked for the first element. We have to go back and check for second element, that is val equals to 0 now. Okay, so we are inside the for loop. We have to take this, execute this one for every value in this particular list till we go through all the elements. Or if we have the break statement here, breaq break, then we can break the for loop. Otherwise, we have to go through all the elements here like that. So as of now, we have just gone through first value, that is 1. The second value is basically 0. Now tell me what condition will satisfy here. Please mute, I'm getting background noise. Okay. What will happen now? Tell me.
The first if
First
condition
condition will
will
be true.
execute 7.
If this is 0, it means what? The value of count is equals to what will happen here? Just tell me. Just a second.
Will become 10.
3 plus 10 will be 13.
Ten or 13 or what?
So it should be 13.
13.
So here count equals to count plus 10. But what's the value of this count? Here it should be count equals to count plus 10. But the value of count of the previous iteration is basically 3. So 3 plus 10, here the value of count becomes 13 now. Okay. Now do we need to execute this one? Can we go to this else if block? No. Right? So if this is true, we have to execute this one. Otherwise, if this is false, we go to else block. If this is false, we go to else block. If this is false, we go to else block like that. If this is true, we'll execute this one. That's it. This is how else if work. Okay. Now the value of count is basically 13. Now that's it. Do we need to print that or what?
No.
Again, we'll go to a for loop. Our last element is basically val equals to -2. Now tell me what we have to do here.
Second condition would follow.
Yeah, is this true? No. We'll go to else block. Is this true?
Yes.
Okay. So here, value is less than 0, that is -2. So we are going to add 5 inside in the count. So previous count value was 13 plus 5 is basically 18 here. Okay. So we don't need to do for check for this particular thing. And then if I go back here, what will happen now? The for value in this particular list. Now that's it. We have gone through all the values. Now we exit the for loop, and now we are going to go for a next line. That is line number 12. And here the print count. That is basically value of count is basically what? 18 here. The answer will be 18. Okay. If we ask such type of question, you should be able to solve. I hope the concept of for loop, if else is clear now. Any doubt in the for loop, how it works? If else condition, else if condition?
No, sir.
Okay, great. So see, okay, what if I say here, instead of else if, just if, and here we have else. Now can anyone tell me the output of this particular code? What is the print count here? Just a second. Instead of, wait. Yeah, so instead of here, I will add one more element. Okay, so 1, 0, -2. Here I am going to add what? Let's say, for example, -3. Okay, or let's make it simple. -2. Instead of -2, we have -3 only. Okay, tell me the answer for this particular count here. Instead of else if, we have if condition, yeah, but here we have if else condition. That's it. 7 or what?
Same answer.
Yeah. So for value in list, so for every value in list one, so first value is basically 1. So is this true? No. We have to check for this. Is this true? No. We have to check for this. Is this true? Yes. The value of count will be count plus 3. That is basically 3 here. We'll go to next iteration. Here, next element is basically 0. Is the first condition true? Yes. Right? So we are going to add 10, that is basically 13. Is because we have to check all the if statement here. Okay, it's not else if condition. We have to check for next if also. Is this true? No. Is this true?
No.
Then we have to go for next element or what? Here we have if else condition. If this condition is true, we have to increment the count by 3. Otherwise, we have to increment the count by 1 here. Right? The first iteration, the value of val is basically 1, so this becomes true. So that's why we have added 3 here. Now, if I go for the next integer, that is basically 0, so this got satisfied. So we are going to add 10, that is 13. But here we have multiple if conditions. So we have to check for this condition as well. Previously it was else if. So once any condition got satisfied, that's it. But here we have multiple if condition. So this will add at 0, 13. Here not true. What about this? This is basically false. But we have to go for else block then, right?
Yes.
So plus 1, that is basically 14. Again go for next element. Tell me now what will happen for next element, minus 3. Tell me what will happen for minus 3. Tell me the direct answer for count now here. That's it.
It
Because current
will
value
go
is
to
14.
it will go to second
Plus
value
5.
and
Plus
back
5 and 1.
and 1. Yeah.
So plus 5 we are going to add. That is basically 19. What about this one? Is this true?
No.
No.
No, right? So we'll go to else block. That is basically plus 1 here. That is basically what 20 as the answer here. Okay. So see, if I simply change the condition to if, you can see the different answer there, right? And the concept is also different. In the case of else if, we have just need to go for one condition. If I execute, that's it. But in the case of multiple if statement, we have to check each and every if statement here, like that. Okay. I hope the concept of if and else if is clear now. How this will work, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Great. Okay, let's try to solve this question. Already you have solved the answer, but let's try to see the question here. So instead of numbers or integers, we are dealing with the words now, that is basically string. Okay. Now here we are using length function, L-E, and inside the bracket we have a list here. Okay. So this will give me what as anyone?
Length of the
Blank.
number of elements inside the list.
Number of element in the list, right? So if I say length of them, what is the output here?
5.
5.
5 here, right? Okay. So here we have created one list that is names count equals to 0, short equals to empty list here for name in names. Okay, names is basically this list here. So for every name in this particular name, what we are doing here? Tell me.
So
Which
we are
condition got satisfied?
finding the length.
If the length of name is less than 4, then we append the name to short.
So name indicates here it's NAME name, not names. Okay. So length of name is what? For every value of this particular list, for every element, we are going to execute this one, right? So for name in name. So first the value of name will be what? LS.
Yes.
Is this true? Length of name is what? How many words we have here?
No, we don't. It is not true.
No, it's greater than 4.
So
It's 5.
false. Then go for check this condition, else if condition.
We'll increase the count so by 1.
So count is basically 0 plus 1, 1. Do we need to go to else if condition
No,
next?
sir.
No. Go for next here. Next element is basically Bob. Tell me the quickly now. What will be the output for Bob?
First segment will be executed.
First.
If length.
If.
The name
So
will be appended to the list.
short. Initially it is empty. Now we are going to append. Means what? We are going to add the element that is basically Bob here, right?
Yes.
Now that's it. Go for the next element quickly. Tell me.
It will increase the count so by so count is equal to 3.
First condition, name length is less than 4. No, you can see it's 7. Let us have there's not true, we go for else condition, it equals to 5. Not true, go for else condition. A in name. So what is in statement will check here whether this particular string is
Includes.
present inside the name or not.
Yes.
Do we have A inside the Charlie?
Yes.
Yes. If this is true, we have to increment the count by 2. So 1 plus 2, that is basically 3 here. Go for the next one, David. What is the output for David?
So it
Plus one.
will increase the count by 1.
That is basically 4. 2 also?
Yes.
David,
Because
yeah.
there's an A in the word.
No, sir, we won't go
No,
to
we
two,
use
but
only
it is
one
else.
else.
Yeah. Else if is there. If this is true, we have to execute this one. We have to go to else block only when this is false. In the previous iteration, Charlie, this is basically false. That's why we go for line number 10. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So Charlie also has David. 4 we have to add. Sorry, 1 we have to add. That is basically 4. Then go for next iteration. Eve, tell me.
We'll add it in short list.
Yeah, that is basically Eve here. Okay, that's it. Go for next iteration. Do we have element? No. We are going to stop the for loop here, exit the for loop here. We are going to print this one. What is this? Print length of short plus count. Yes.
2 plus 4, sir, which is 6.
6.
2 plus 4, that is basically a 6 here, right? So answer will be a 6 here, right? So see, you will get any list, you need to apply for loop. Now for loop is what? For every element you want to do something here. So what we are doing here? We are taking each element and we are doing something here. Okay? So do something. Do something with what? With that particular element here. Name. Okay? So for each element in this particular list, I want to do something here. That's it. Okay. So for every for loop, if you want to perform any specific operation on the element, or if you want to check whether how many any word consists of vowels more than 2, so you can write a for loop for that. You can check word by word. If you want to find out how many even numbers are there, how many prime numbers are there, so you have to take integer by integer, element by element, and write down the code for that. Okay, so whenever you want to do some specific thing with every element of the list, we can go for a for loop here. Okay, I hope this thing is clear what I said now.
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Yes, sir.
great. So let's try to solve this question now. So this is different from the previous question. Here for is there, we have one more for, that is basically nested for loop. Nested for loop here. Okay. Okay. So see what will be the output of this particular for loop. So here we have a variable count. The value of variable is basically a 0 for I in range function. Now here we got a range function. What is range function? Yes, anyone?
Giving a
We have to include the values between these.
limit for a list.
Yeah. So when I say range of n here, n be any number. So this will give me what list of integers from 0 to n minus 1, n minus 1. If I say range of 5, so this will give me what? 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, not 5. It is n minus 1. Okay. But here the number will start with 0. But if I want to start with specific value, let's say for example 1. So in this case, range 1 comma 4. It means what? This will give me 1, 2, and 3. Like that. N minus 1 here. Okay. So here we are going to use the range function 1, 2, 3 because we are going to start with 1. If I say 5, if I say 10, the numbers in the list will be what? 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, like that. Okay. So this is about the range function here. So here what is the list here? 1, 2, 3. Here also same function, that is 1, 2, 3. So how this code is working? Yes, anyone can tell me? For I in range 1 comma 4. So list is basically 1, 2, 3. So first iteration, the value of I is basically 1 here. Now we'll go to line number 3. For j in range of 1 comma 4. So value of j is basically of what? 1 here. Now see what is the correct condition here. Can anyone tell me what we are doing here?
So I is equal to j. So we'll continue it.
So is 1 equals to 1? Yes. So we have to continue what?
So we have to like increment the next.
Total equal to I plus j.
Is this correct? We need to.
No, it will
So
go
we want to check
to
the both if conditions.
yeah.
To go to the next state condition.
So when you say continue, so we have to continue the loop here. Which loop? This is basically outer loop, inner loop. Which
Inner
loop we
loop.
have to do? Yeah, inner loop. We can go to outer loop only when we complete the inner loop. So here we have j equals to 1. Continue. We'll go for this line number 3. The value of j will be 2. What will happen here now? The value of I is 1. The value of j is 2.
None of the if flip will
If
work.
this is equals to 2, no. If I
14.
plus 2 is less than 4, no. What is total here then? Total is 0 plus I plus j, that is 1 plus 2, that is basically 3. So 3 is the total here. So what we need to do at this particular point, where we need to go?
Next, I is equal to 2.
Not I equals to 2. We have not completed the inner.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
j
J
is
equals to 3.
J equals to 3. So first we have to complete the inner
inner
loop,
loop. Yes.
or we have to break the loop, then only we can go for outer loop here. If I say j equals to 3, what will happen now? Tell me. Is this true? Because the value of I is still 1. Not true. 1 plus 3. 4 is greater than 4. Is this true?
No, sir.
No, sir.
No. What we are going to do here?
Total.
1 plus 3, that is basically 4. So j total equals to 3 plus 4. That is basically 7 here.
Yes.
Now, if I go for a next iteration, we don't have element to access, so we'll stop the inner for loop. Then at this point, what we are going to do, we go for outer for loop. Next iteration is basically I equals to 2. The same thing we have to repeat for this I equals to 2. Same thing here. The value of j will get changed 1, 2, 3. I will remain same. Now tell me what will happen now for I equals to 2. Yes. First, j is basically 1.
Which is not equal to 2, so it will go to the next condition.
Okay.
Where the condition
So here 2
satisfies.
plus 1 is not greater than 4, so it will go.
So 2 plus 1 is basically 3. Yeah. So 10. So what we need to do after that?
Now j will
Inner
be
loop.
2.
Uh,
So 2
Y is
equals
equal
2. It will
Huh?
continue.
okay, continue in the for loop there.
Now j will be 3, which is
J
not
will
equal
be
to
here.
2.
It will work,
Greater
sir.
than 4, so it will break here.
To break the inner for loop. So we don't need to go for j equals to 3 here, right? So already we have gone for j equals to 3. So we'll simply break here. We'll go for a next iteration in the outer for loop.
Now I will be 3.
Yeah, I will be 3. Again, we need to repeat the same thing here for j. So tell me, I will be 3. What about j? J is basically 1. Which condition getting satisfied here?
None of the if flip will work, sir. We'll go to total.
So 3 plus 1, that is basically 4. 10 plus 4, that is basically 14. Go for a next iteration. Next is basically j equals to 2. 3 equals to 2? No. 3 plus 2 greater than 4. Is this true?
Yes, sir. We'll
Yes.
break.
So it will
That's
break.
it. We have to break the loop. We don't need to go for next iteration. If I go for a next iteration, also here we have completed what? J equals to I equals to 3 as well. So that's it. Answer should be 14 here, right? So this is how this state for loop will work. So first inner for loop will get complete, then only we have to go for outer for loop. Or first we have to break the inner for loop, then only we can go for outer for loop. Okay. So this is how nested for loop will work, and we have discussed about the range function. We have discussed about the continue, break, and nested for loop. Is this four concept clear? Nested for loop, range, continue, break. For which purpose we are using this keyword continue, break? What is range function and how nested for loop will work? Right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, great. So if you understand this nested for loop here, tell me. I am simply removing this entire thing. I am just writing total plus equals to 1, and then going to print total here instead of everything. What will be the output? After this, just total equals to total plus 1. We are going to print the total here. Tell me.
0, sir.
Why 0? Instead of this one, we just have one total plus equals to 1. Yeah, that's it.
9.
9.
9 here, right? So here what will happen? So for one iteration of I, we are going to compare with 3 elements here. So total will be 3. For next iteration, again for next iteration of I, we are going to compare with 3 here. So what I want to say here, if you have nested for loop, if we have three elements here, so this will get executed 9 times here like that. If I have 100 here, if I have 100 inside that, if you don't have any breaking statement here, so this will go 100 into 100, this much number of things. Okay, so if I just ask you like this, if here we have length of list 1, here we have length of list 2, list 1 is having 50 elements, list 2 is having 40 elements, tell me the value of count. In that case, 50 into 40 will be your answer, right? Because we don't have any breaking condition here. Okay, because for what purpose we use the nested for loop? If I want to compare the one element of outer for loop with every other element, then I can go with the inner for loop. Are you getting my point? What I'm trying to say, if I want to compare one element
Okay.
with every other element, right? Like that. So let's say, for example, like here we have one table. Okay. So let's say, for example, here we have a student table, right? And I have this 10 rows like that, 10 information about the student, right? And I'm storing this information in the format of list here. So what will happen if I want to compare the how many students is sharing? If I want to compare the how many students are having the same date of birth, what I need to do? I need to compare the date of birth of first student with all the remaining 9 students, right? Similarly, I need to compare date of birth of second student with remaining all 8 students like that. So for that purpose, we use a nested for loop. Okay. But I hope you understand this particular code what we have discussed. Is this clear?
Yes, sir.
Hello. Okay, great. Okay, so here, okay, I hope whatever we have discussed up till now, that is clear to everyone. Now let's discuss about the functions here. Okay, how we define the functions. So up till now we have just applied the for loop. We have just discussed simple code here, right? But let's see, for example, here only, or here. Let's say, for example, here we have a list, and I want to find out how many prime numbers are there, right? So first, what I need to do, I can apply for loop for I in L1, but that I must be prime number. Then only I will increment the value of count. It means what I have to check whether that element is prime number or not. But how we can check that? We have to write a code for checking prime number, right? So if I write a code, that will be 3-4 lines of code here, and that will get executed every time, right? So for every element, I need to check for that. But let's say, for example, any piece of code, if you want to use many number of times inside the code here, let's say, for example, finding out the prime number, in that case, we can go for a functions here. Okay. So here, how we can define the functions, you can see DEF is basically a keyword we use for defining the function. Here we have a function name, and then you are taking the 2 parameters here, a comma b here, right? So what I want to do with a comma b, that logic I am going to write it down here like that. Okay, so if I say define sum1 a comma b, I am going to write c equals to a plus b, then I am going to return the value of c here. What is the value of c is going to return by this particular statement here. So when I say sum1 10 comma 5, it means what? The value of a is 10. It means what? The value of b is 5. So output of this will be what? Return c. But what is c? A plus b. That is basically 15 here. Okay. So if I want to do a summation of 2 numbers inside the code, I don't need to write this again and again. I can simply write this particular function, and I will call this function, that's it. Okay. So here, this is how the function is defined here, like that. Okay. Now if you understand what is function here, you can see we have defined one process function x comma y. This will take two parameters as an input. Let's see what we are doing here. This one. Similarly, compute also we are doing the same thing here. Okay. So first tell me what's the value of process 10 comma 5. To understand what is the value of process 10 comma 5, tell me.
First loop will be executed, sir, if 10 greater than 5.
The value of x is 10, the value of y is 5. So 10 greater than 5, we are going to return x minus 10. That is basically 10 minus 5. That is basically 5 in the output. If I say 5 comma 10, in that case,
the elif will execute, sir.
Same thing, sir. 5 will be the answer.
so here, this is basically false. 5 is not greater than 10. We'll go for this one. 5 less than 10. Yes, return 5 minus 10. That is basically minus 5 here, right? Like that. Okay. Now tell me at what point this else will get executed, for which condition?
If both are 10.
Yeah. If both are equal, then we can say we are going to return x plus y here. Okay. Okay, let's see. We have defined one function, compute a comma b. What we are going to do? Result equals to process a comma b. Now we are going to call this function inside this particular function here. Whatever the value of this will be there of this function, we are going to give to result here, and then we are checking if result is divisible by 0, it return even, otherwise odd. Okay. Is the code clear to everyone? What we are doing inside this particular functions?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
For the model, negative value will be problem.
Sorry, can you repeat?
For the first definition, the answer is the negative value. So how it will take it?
No, it's still positive because 10 minus 5 will become y minus x.
Sorry, yeah, it's y minus x, right? So it is 10 minus 1, it is basically 5 here. Yes. If it is 5 comma 10, that is basically 5 less than 10. So that is y minus x here. Yeah, it is 5 only. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, if you see here, is the option A correct? Let me minimize this one. Tell me which option is correct, A, B, C.
A is
A
false,
is
sir.
correct, sir.
If x is basically 5 and y is basically 10, it means what? This get executed. So 5 minus 2 is basically 3. The value of this process A comma B is 3. Then we have result 3 divided by mod 2 equals 0. No, we go to return odd here. This is correct. What about B?
B is correct,
It's
sir.
correct, sir.
B is also correct here because 8 minus 4, it is 4. 4 is basically divisible by 2. So even. What about C?
Wrong, sir. It is
3, 3. So if both are equal, so summation will be what? 3 plus 3, that is basically 6. And here the value of result will be 6. 6 mod 2 is basically what? Even, but it is odd. False. What about D? 10 and 5?
It is
wrong,
false.
sir.
False.
It is.
False, sir. False.
That is basically odd here, right? So you can say A and B are the correct options here. Okay.
Excuse me, sir.
Sorry.
Sir, in this case, 3, 3, because the condition is either x less than y or x greater than y. So, how we calculated this 6, 3, 3, comma 3?
Yeah, so first we'll check for this condition. Is 3 greater than 3? No.
No.
We go for else if condition. Is 3 less than 3?
No.
No. We go for else condition here and we are going to return x plus y
okay.
here.
Okay.
Yeah. So whenever the value is equal, we are going to do a summation of that. That's it.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay, great. Okay, simple question. Let's try to solve this question here. Tell me the answer. We already discussed about the list and the length function here. Okay, great. So different concept here. Please mute. I'm getting a background noise. Yeah. Okay. Fine. Okay. Great. So here, what is this? It's a list, but what list of lists? Because the element inside the list is again the list here. You can see, right?
Yes, sir.
It will be IIT 2025 and exam.
No, sir, it will be IIT Madras and exam.
Let's see. So we are going to print length of list of 0. What is list of 0? For this list, what is zeroth element here?
IIT.
IIT, sir.
What's the length here?
3.
3.
3. Plus, what about this length of
13.
list of 1 comma 1?
First and
20, 20,
List first element.
2025.
That is basically a
2025.
first element. And the output of first element of this will be a list. And from this list, we want the first index position, that is 2025. What's the answer here?
4,
Length
sir.
of
4.
What about this one?
4. 4.
Answer will be 11. Yeah. Okay, this is basically a nested list, we can say. Okay. So the concept of nested list is clear how we can access the thing, because here you can see list of 1. So this will give me output, this Madras and 2025. Okay. Now again, if I say 1 here, so it means what? The element and index position 1 of this particular list. So 0 and 1 will be what? 2025 here. Okay. So this is about this question. So we have discussed this one, this one, this one. Let's solve this question. Okay. So one more concept we'll discuss about the list here. Yeah. So here we have data alpha, beta, gamma. We have 3 elements. Data 1. What is data 1 here? So index position 1, that is basically this one. So what we are going to do here? So first we need to understand the concept of replace function here. For what purpose we use replace function here? Yes.
Replace one value with another.
You want to replace any particular element or value with some particular value inside this particular list. So how we can do that? So if you see data 1 is basically what? Beta. The beta dot replace E. Instead of E, I want this. What is this?
It will take alpha and from that it will go to L and it will replace E from L.
Yeah. So here, instead of E, I want to replace with this one. What is this? Data. Then we have a first element. First element is alpha. Now we have alpha. This is basically string. Now we can apply indexing to string value as well. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. We can apply indexing to string or a list here. Okay. Now you can see data 0 is alpha, but 1 is basically L. So here we are going to replace E with the L, that is basically B, L, T, A. What about data 2 here? Tell me now. So we have discussed about the replace function. We know that here it will be what? Instead of A, I want to replace with what? Yes, anyone? What's the output of this?
Data 0. Alpha with gamma, I think.
From alpha.
Data 0 is alpha and third character will be what? 0, 1, 2, 3, H here. Right? So I want to replace A with the H. But for what? Here you can see data 2, then we have something called colon minus 1. So what is this colon minus 1? What is this?
Slicing, sir.
Slicing of the list. Let's see here, slicing of the
Reverse.
list. Yeah, reverse, correct. So if I say L1, so up till now we have just discussed if I want to access any particular element, we do just like that. L1 and the square bracket, we specify the index position 2. So we'll get the output as what? 7 here. This is what we do. Right? So if I simply say print here, so this will give me a 7. Right? Now here we have something called slicing of the list. We use a colon here. So first we'll discuss about the two colons. If I say that's it, in square bracket, colon, colon, it means what? It will start with the first index position, whatever it has, that is 0, till whatever it has. So it will give me what? All the values. But if I say here 4, right? So here I don't have any starting position. So it is starting and here ending index position here, right? S colon E, starting colon ending here. But here if I say colon ending E is basically 4 index position, what should be the output?
Up to 9.
345 7.
345 7 8 9 or 345 7 8. What?
Second one, sir, till 8.
So 0, it will start with 0 because we have not specified anything. So 0, 3, then 45, then 1, sorry, 2 is basically 7, 3 is basically 8. Now will it go to 9 or what?
It won't go to 9, so I guess.
That is basically what? We have n minus 1 also here. Ending whatever the position we have, minus 1 we have to do. Right? So it starts with 0, so it will go with the n minus 1. If I say 1 colon 2, it will start with 1 but end with 4 minus 1. That is 1 to 3 index position here. You can say like that. If I say 2 colon 4, it will start with 2, end with 4. If I say 5 here, it will start with 2, end with 4 here. Okay, like that you can see. Okay, this is how slicing of the list will happen. Okay, like that. But in the quotient it is given that double colon here. What is double colon now? Yes, anyone?
Last step value.
Step, we add steps, sir.
Each and every element.
No, if I just simply run this, I'm going to get all the elements here. Now, if I say, let's say 2 and here I say 4, what does this mean?
It will start from 2 and increase. It will go.
It will go start from 7 and up to 9. 7 to 9.
No, sir. We add the step value is equal to 4. So only 7 will be printed.
It will start with 2, right? After that, next element will be what? Index position 4 here. So see, if I just add 1 here, let's see what happens. So 2 is basically what? 7, we know, right? Now 1 is basically what? You can see. We'll add 1 step size here. Next is basically 8, 9, 20 like that. But if I add 2 here, index position is basically 2 plus 2 will be a 4. So second position, then fourth position like that. Sixth position we don't have, so that's why we don't have any output. So we will start with this one. We are going to add 2 in the index position like that. Okay. If I say
3.
1, 2, just a second. 1 colon, what happened there? Colon 3. What is the output? Start with 1, then
3,8.
40.
3.
First is basically 45, then 3, 1 plus 3 is basically 4. So fourth index position is what? 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 9.
9.
After 9, we have 7, but we don't have 7 element here. So 1, 9. What is this? Bracket is missing here. Yeah. So you can see 45 and 9 like that. But here, if I say minus 1, now tell me what will happen if I say 3 minus 1.
Then it will reduce like from
We
third
replace
position.
the processor. Start with 20.
Start with
8,
what?
7.
0, 1, 2, 3. Then we are going to subtract 1 from that. So we'll go with reverse order like that. Okay. It means what? If I just put empty here, so we are going to start with this one, but from minus 1 we are going to start. It means what? We are going to reverse the list here like that. Okay. So we start with the index position here, but minus 1, we are starting with this one. So indexing will start from 0, from left to right, but when we go from right to left here, it will start with minus 1. Okay. So if I simply print L1 minus 1 here, so that will give me 20 as the output. Okay, like that. Okay, so from right to left, minus will go. From left to right, we have to start with 0 here. Okay. Now, let's go back to the question here. What is the output of this data to this one? Tell me now. Please mute. I'm getting a background noise. Yeah. Tell me what is the output now here? Data 2, and then we have colon colon minus 1. What is that? Data 2. What is data 2? 0, 1, 2,
Gamma.
gamma को reverse कर दिया, right? So we have reversed the gamma here. That is basically what a, yeah, a g, right? Is what we have done. So what we are doing, replace a with h. Now which a will get replaced? This one or this one or both?
So first one.
First occurrence of a or all the occurrence of a. Yes, tell me. Is the option A correct? Or what? We have other option as well.
Yes. First will be correct. First
Huh?
one is correct.
Option A is correct, sir.
So alpha, we have replaced beta with E with L. That is fine. What about this one? So A, M, A, G. Right? So A will get replaced with H here. So you can see like this. Okay. So H, M, and G. So option A is correct here. Right? So I hope the slicing of the list, the concept is clear now. Slicing of the list. We have discussed the concept of slicing of the list, and replace function also we have discussed. Okay. So do we have any other concepts? So this is from week 1 to 3. So this PDF will have a question for week 4 also. So let's try to solve the remaining question one by one. Okay, so let's see here. We want to print the following pattern here like that. Okay. So we have two snippet of the code. Tell me which code will print this pattern correctly. What about the first snippet? If the output of this snippet is this one, this is what we need to find out. Yes, anyone? Is snippet 1 will give me a required a pattern? Bolo. Is this the correct snippet? N equals to 4 for I in range 4. Range 4 means what? 0, 1, 2, 3, right? Here also 0, 1, 2, 3, right?
Yes.
Now for I, so first iteration will start with I 0. So I equals to 0 or. So or and we have. Okay. If I have C1 or C2, if we have C1 and C2, so both are the conditions here. Okay. So in the case of or, if all the conditions are true, then entire condition becomes true here. Sorry.
If anyone is true, then all.
Anyone is true, then all the conditions becomes true here. In the case of and, if both the conditions are true, then only entire condition becomes true here. Okay. Now
Yes.
here you can see if I is equals to 0, this is correct, right?
Yes.
Can we print 1?
Yes, sir, we can.
What is this 8 here? What does this mean?
It means that it should not go to next line, like just a space.
Correct. Okay. So don't need to go to else if condition. We go for a next iteration of J here. What is J here? 1 now. It was 0. Is this correct?
No.
The value of I is still 0 only, right?
Yes, sir.
Nested for loop. So first we'll fix the value of I equals to 0. We'll iterate over the value of J 0, 1, 2, 3. But anyway, for all the 4 values of J, this will be always true. Can I say like this?
Yes, sir.
So this will be 1, 1, 1 like that. Hello?
Yes.
Yes, sir. Correct, sir.
Yeah. So then go for a next iteration of I is basically what? 1 now. Now here J is basically 0, 1, 2, 3. Again, we need to start with 0. The value of I is 1. Now is this true? Tell me. I is not equals to 0. What
No,
about
sir.
this one? I equals to n minus 1. What is n here? That is 4. So 4 minus 1 is basically I. No. J equals to 0.
Yes, sir. J is equal to 0.
Yeah, j is 0, so we are going to print 1 here. That's it, right? Go for next addition of j, that is basically 1. So not true, not true. J is also not true. What about this one? For j
No.
equals to
Not
1?
true, sir.
No. Then we go for else if condition. Is 1 equals to 1?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So are we matching with the requirement here?
No, sir.
Pattern?
We can eliminate
No,
this
sir.
one.
No, sir.
No.
No.
So do we need to continue? No. Go for snippet 2 here. So same thing, n equals to 4, I is range. So again, row is basically initialized with the empty string here. Okay, for j in range, let's see with 0, 1, 2, 3. Again, here same thing here. So if I in 0 to n minus 1 here, okay, so it's a list here. So if I in this one or j in this one, so n minus 1 is basically 3, here also 3. Okay, so whether the value of I is in this list or in this list, 0, j, is this true?
Yes, sir.
So value of row will become what?
1.
We are going to merge. It is basically string here. It's not one. It's in bracket, in quotation we have one. It's a string here, right?
Okay, sir. Okay.
So can we do like this? Can we do arithmetic operation here? Row is basically empty string here. So empty string plus one will give you, we concatenate here. We are going to merge those two string here. That is fine, right? Now tell me, what about the next iteration here? Will this give me a required output here? Let's try it out here. Can I copy this? Let me check. Okay, so here n we are going to put equals to 4 here. Let's see the output. For this one. What's the output we have? 1111. Yeah, you can see till this point it is fine, but here it is 0, but it should be, here it is 1, it should be a 0 here, right? So this option is also not give us the required thing here, right? Because for the first case anyway this will be always true, because the value of I is 0 inside the list. So we can say 1 plus 1 plus 1, so 1 1 1 we can add 4 times, that is fine, we can print that row. If I go for next addition, the value of I becomes 1 here. Now is this correct? I is basically what, 1? Yes, that is also fine, because 0 and n minus 4 is 3. So I will be inside the 1 here, right? So this will also give me 1 1 1 1, right? So it should be 1 1 1. Okay, sorry, 3 times is there. Correct. So value of I is 0, then the row will be 1. And then we are going to print, and we go for the next iteration. The value of j will be what, 1, but the value of I is still 1 here. Sorry, here we have a list 0 comma 3, not 0 to 3, 0 comma 3, right? So 1 is inside the list. No, here the value of j is basically 0, 0 comma 3, value of j is 0 inside the list. Yes, so we have to add, we are going to merge 1 here, that is fine. The next line we have 1, right? Then go for a next iteration, that is basically j equals to 1. I is basically 1, but j equals to 1. If I say this is not correct, we go to else if condition. I equal to j, I equals to 1, 1 equals to 1. Yes, then we have to concatenate 0 here. It go to merge 0, then go for next one, that is basically a 2. So 2 is not present inside the list, this is false. I equals to j, this is false. We go for this one, so that is basically 1 here. So here we want 0, but we got 1 here. Okay, so this is not correct. So both the snippet will not give you a required output. Is this fine? Why snippet 2 is not correct? Because you can see at this particular point when j equals to 2 and I equals to 1. So this is basically false. Here also I is not equals to j. So this is not true. So we go for else block and we are going to add 1 here like that. Okay. So option D is correct here. Hello.
Yes, sir. Understood.
Okay, great. Okay, so that's it. And we have just 2 questions remaining. Let's try to solve those 2 questions as well. So what about this particular question? We have a Python program that takes sentence which may contain both uppercase and lowercase spaces and punctuation and creates the number of vowels present. Here you can see which of these 2 depend is basically correct here. So we want number of vowels present here. It's whatever the sentence we are going to take as an input here. So just tell me, is the snippet 1 correct? How this is working? Let's say, for example, I'm taking the input statement hello world. Okay. The count 0 vowels is basically set of this A, E, I, O, U, uppercase, lowercase, both are present. What about this line number 4 here? What we are doing here?
Traversing each character of the.
Yeah, for every character inside this particular sentence, if char equals to H, then char equals to E, char equals to L, like that, what we are doing? If character is present inside the vowels set, if yes, then we are going to count that, right? If no, then we don't need to count that. So will we, are we going to get this number of vowels present inside the sentence? Is this correct?
Yes, sir. Correct, sir.
Yes, this is correct. What about snippet 2?
That also correct, sir.
Correct. Why correct? We are just using the lower case here. What about uppercase?
So we are converting the sentence to lowercase, sir.
Yes. If you observe here, we are using what? We're converting the sentence to a lower case. It's the lower function here. So all the characters here in the this particular thing will be in the lower case. Then we are simply comparing with A, E, I, O, U. That's it. Okay. So this will give me a required count. So I guess both the answers, both snippets are correct here. Okay. So please remember all the string functions here. Okay. Very, very important string functions here. There are almost 15 to 20 string functions you have to remember. In the week 2 lecture, you can just take the screenshot of that. I guess Professor has discussed the various string functions. So at the last we have few 2-3 slides. So just go through that. Okay. Because inside the code we can use any function here like that. Okay, let's go with this last question. That is first question. Here we have the text, then we have A, B, C, D like that. What will happen here? So what string function does? Yes, anyone?
It's remove the bracket.
So what bracket here? We have given this as a input.
Sir,
It removes
remove
the space.
things in bracket, sir.
Yeah. So to remove whatever we specify inside this particular thing, right? But how? What about L? What about R here?
L is left, sir. R is right. And
Yes.
stripe is full all step.
Yeah. So when I say L strip is from left side, we are going to strip this particular thing. When I say R strip, we are going to remove from right side here, right? But here, if we don't specify L or R, so from both the side, we are going to remove this one. Okay. So matching with anything here, it's a space, it's a greater symbol, less than symbol here. So space will be there, empty space, less than or greater symbol, we are going to remove from both the side. So space, remove, less than symbol, remove, space, remove. So we are going to remove everything here. Then we have hello, a Python. Now from this side also space, we have to remove here like that. But what about this space? Is this going to remove or what?
Yes.
Will strip function remove the space from this middle also? Because from left and right we know it will get a match, it will get removed like that. But what about this one? It will get removed or not? So this will be hello, comma, space Python or just comma Python. Tell me. So space will also get removed here. Okay. So if it matches anything, it will get removed here. Okay. What about the L strip? Simple from the left side. So only this will get removed. This one. Now, will this space will get removed now in the case of L or R?
No, sir.
No, right? So here L is basically what? Hello Python, then this one. In the case of R, we have this one till this one, like that. So if you observe which option is correct, A is not correct because we have L, then we have a space there. B is basically what looks correct. Is B correct?
Yes, sir. B is correct.
Yes.
No. C is basically what asked, right? So this should be here, and this should be here, I guess. Let's see. Option C is also not correct. Option D, option B is correct. Yes. So let me check. So we are going to print C here. What is C?
The C and D are just changed, sir. That's all.
We are going to remove from the right side. So yeah. D is basically this one. How this will get removed? It will remove from the right side, right? So let's try to execute this one. We'll copy this and we'll paste it here. Let's see the output. Indentation about the, what about the indentation? Line number 1. So text unexpected indented. Oh my god. So let me remove this indentation. So you can see this should be present there, right? So here it is not present in option number B. Yeah, that is missing. This is what I am saying, because from the right side only we are going to strip entire thing, not from the left. So this must be present. And then here also, if you see, we are just removing the spaces, not the arrows here, right? So that is also not correct inside this was option, which is correct. None of the options are right. Okay, I will look into this particular question. But I hope you understand the working of strip function here, right? Okay, so this is what we have discussed. We have covered almost all the questions, and few questions are there at the last. Just try to solve those questions. Whatever we have discussed, it's up to, it's based on that only. Okay, so here we have discussed what variables, then the data types, expected basic things. Then we have different data types, or we can say data structures. We have discussed about lists, tuples, then we have sets, then we have a dictionary, right? In this particular paper, we don't have a question, I guess, based on set or dictionary, but you can expect a question based on this as well. And then we have a for loop. Okay, because from week 1 to 4 we are just dealing with the list and tuples and set. Dictionary, I guess, in week 4 or week 5 we have. Till week 3 we just have list one. Okay, so that we are going to discuss in the next session here. Okay, so that's it from my side. If you have any question, you can ask from the first 3 weeks. Later week we are going to discuss in the next session. If you want this PDF, I can share with you. You can practice. But now I can share. Let me check. Just a second.
Can you share more question like this?
More question like this. No, you can just.
Sir, can you share this recorded session?
It's already live on YouTube. Okay, so let me show you one thing. So you can see here. Okay, my screen is not visible. Let me stop sharing. Yeah. So this is the recording link. So it is live on YouTube. Yeah. So we already shared. So you can see. Yeah. So this is basically our course YouTube channel, and if you go to this channel, you can go to this live section, and then you can find out previous that session as well. So right now we are going live for this particular attempt, but if you just scroll down, you can find out a previous that session also. I guess let me. Yeah, so you can see this end term revision session is basically a that session only, because end term and that paper is the same thing. So just watch this session as well. You can see 3 months ago, you can refer to this session as well. That is also fine, because we have discussed few more questions in this particular session. So you can just refer to that or end term revision session, and then you can see that session 2 again. So just refer to this. You can see that week 1 to 3. I guess I have taken this session, so you can just refer to that as well. Okay. So just go to this YouTube live section, then just search for that sessions here, right? Direct into diploma, and you can find out previous term sessions as well. Okay, so this is regarding the session, and you can just go through that PDF. Let me, can we share inside the chat? I don't think so. I will be sharing the link in just a second. Yeah, do you want this annotation like what I have written on the slides, or empty file is also fine? Yes. Okay, I will just share the paper here. That's it. Just a second. Okay. Yeah, so sharing with everyone. Yeah, can you check if you have access to you or not?
Yes.
Okay, great. So try to solve the question, and if you want to watch the previous term sessions, you can just refer to YouTube channel live section. That's it. Okay. So that's it from my side. Thank you, everyone. Next, you taken by a different instructor. So all the best for your exam. Okay. So my name is Piyush Vairade. I'm the instructor for 3-4 courses here. So that's it. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Bye bye. Good night.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, sir.
Good night. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.